And that leads us into chapter 29, Justice or Revenge. Karna was so absolutely surprised that Volke stood up for her the way he did. She wanted him to dance with her. And Volke feels kind of this magic in her touch, and he does a double take on her forehead just to make sure she doesn't have an arcanist mark.
And no mark, but there's definitely magic at work. He loses control of his body, and he's moving not of his own choice.
Red flag a little bit, but she takes him out onto the dance floor, and Volke's just like, look, I don't dance. Like, I got 2 left feet. Like, really, I don't have any feet for dancing. She takes the lead, and they're just crushing on the dance floor, doing the Dougie and the cha-cha slide here, and everybody stops what they're doing and staring at them because of how just insane that they're doing. And it's a very fast-paced song. Once the song gets over, Karna takes him somewhere private upstairs, and she leads him there, knowing exactly where she's going with him. And she finally reveals her arcanist mark.
And she talks to Volke about it and says that she usually hides it because then she gets to see people's true nature. So people like the puppy arcanist, she understands right away that they aren't living up to the highest standards because they would treat somebody lesser than them poorly, even regardless of whether she is actually an arcanist or not.
We do find out that she is a doppelganger arcanist. Knowing how the highborn, I've been listening to ACOTAR lately, so sorry. Gotta realign how things are called. The arcanists, they're higher above everybody else. In Thronehold, at least, treat those that are mortals like they're second-class citizens, and so it makes complete sense why Karna wants to do this and doesn't want people knowing that she's an arcanist when she first meets them. She talks about justice and revenge, and Volke talks about how justice is meant to right a wrong, and revenge is to cause suffering, to right the wrong, but then go further.
This is actually, he quotes the pillar again, so going back to his home with the steps on the pillar.
He's like, keep it.
My day ones.
So she tells Volke that she really wanted to embarrass Volke, and not necessarily Volke personally, but assuming that he was going to be a pompous arcanist. She does this because she was embarrassed in front of others before when she was immortal. She kind of explains why she did what she did. Then she takes control over Volke's body again after she touches him. Again, she's a doppelganger arcanist, and she's meant to steal something and blame it on Volke. Was going to make it easy for herself by finding some asshole arcanist, have him embarrass her, and then she can go and steal something and blame it on that arcanist.
And Volke is slowly realizing through this conversation, she gets to the end of it, and I just picture him going, wait, I'm the arcanist you were going to hurt? He should have picked up on that right away, but he's going along his merry way until the end of it, and then it's like, man, that would have been rough.
I like nodding along, like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And then it's just like, oh, wait. She escapes and lets Volke go afterwards. She does this like backflip thing off of the balcony into the gardens below, which was pretty badass in my opinion. She's probably wearing heels or something, so I can't imagine the easiest of landings here, but women that do that, especially with all the superhero movies and stuff like that, I applaud you for that. So Luther says that Volke finds himself in more interesting situations than Mathis ever did. Luther never had a clue that Volke was being controlled by Karna.
And you think the dancing would have been like a key that something's going on. He had to have known, like, I've never seen this guy dance before.
Right, like, especially when Volke was saying, I can't dance. Like, I'm telling you, I cannot dance. Not trying to be coy or like low key about it. No, he's like begging her that he cannot dance. And I want to thank everybody for listening, and just want to remind everybody that we post our new episode every Wednesday morning around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, 10 Central. And for those that are out on the Pacific Ocean, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are podcasting on all platforms that podcasts are played on. We're also on YouTube for video, and we want to make sure we give our thanks to our editor, Dan Mackison, for including pictures and links to everything. And if you want to reach out to us on Google, we are at frithguildpod@gmail.com, or Facebook or other social medias at Frith Guild Podcast. Pretty much, we own the market on at Frith Guild Podcast. So if you look us up like that, you'll find us somewhere. We want to thank the Frith Chronicles Wiki as well as a great resource. And again, link to everything is down below in the description section. And with that, we are ending this week's chapter, and we will look forward to hearing from you next time. Scott, you got anything else?
No, looking forward to it.
All right. I think we're getting close to the tourney.
Close. I thought it was earlier, but I was a bit anxious for it.
All right. We'll see you next time.